best thing that we can do, how to mitigate this crisis, take care of the, all the workers, and sort of create that bubble which is safe for everybody. So we were able to do that because of these relationships, and also the relationships that we have with the OEMs. So, his company, our company have amazing relationships with the window manufacturers, door manufacturers, your cement and aggregate, all these things. So to make sure that you can sort of finish the project in time as far as possible, I think that's the key. I think you can also like cost sort of, I think, goes out of control when the time of the project also goes out of control. So if you can finish it within the stipulated period of time,
Right.
you can definitely control the costs and quality. Like I said, there's no problem with the qualities that Indian companies are having today.
All right. I think it's an assurance. And then when you talk about projects, it has to be time bound. It has to be delivered on time, and you have deadlines. Every delays on any milestones are going to have impact on your delivery. And then some of the companies does manage multiple projects in this country. Just wanted to bring Osama into this. Karl Nazim even talked about the relationship, and Jatin also talked about the good relationships. In terms of maintaining that good relationship is one thing. The other thing is in terms of disruptions that we face in the supply chain industry, the global supply chain as well as the local supply chain, and then all this is going to be not as easy as landlocked countries, because it has to be sea transportation, and then intermodal transportation probably is going to be very expensive. So I just wanted to ask, from Jaguar's point of view, how have your company adapted to these changes? And then in terms of sourcing strategies, ensuring consistent supply to your businesses in the Maldives, and what were the lessons that you have learned throughout the COVID, post-COVID, pre-COVID, or even right now? What are the strategies that you have to address these issues?
Absolutely. Thanks, the organizers who gave a chance to share my thoughts along with my industrial friends. And absolutely, it's a good question. As my commissioner mentioned, the disruptions. So I'm adding on that. Since Jaguar is a Indian company which work with globally, over 70 plus countries we are existence right now. Over 8 manufacturing plants across India, mostly in north part of India. And come to your questions. Mostly these supply chain disruptions occurred in both and internally and external factors. And we, Jaguar, understand these issues, and we take precautionary actions that could manage and to overcome these issues. So I'll put you based on Excellency High Commissioner's mentions, along with that 5 common issues that currently these disruptions have occurred, how we manage it. So basically, well, let's talk about pandemic. Pandemic, as we know, we in 2020 we face COVID pandemic, and we mostly, in globally, people depends on Far East supplier or European supplier or American suppliers. But there we are, to overpass the pandemic issues. Actually, Jaguar work with human and robotic. We have more than 10,000 workforces in our factories, and parallelly we have robotic system also in our plant. So we had a manageable things in terms of any pandemic, that we already precautionarily made the decisions. And secondly, the political issues. currently we are facing, as Excellency told, these Ukraine wars, Russia wars, and US and China, trade conflict. When you come into the Red Sea conflict, we Jaguar, we are not facing those issues. That we can manage it, and our supply chain is very minimal. That we can manage to maximum we can take within 15 days to deliver the material maximum to Maldives. That assures that that Maldives can trust us in terms of any of these war issues. Then when you talk about production problems, we Jaguar believes qualities, and we always believes with right product and high-end raw material to use our all product, taking from raw material to until supplying to the final product. We do 100% testing. We don't want it to disappoint our clients. Currently, we're sharing with our market share. Maldives adapted us. We work with our Mr. Chairman RC's Chairman's projects and Mr. Yatin's projects. Mr. Aima, Mr. Ibrahim also we are tied up with. And most of our companies we are currently working with. We glad that be a part of Indian brand. We can supply and which is never interrupted any form of these issues. And I think our industry cannot avoid Indian business tie-up for any means. Thanks. Thank you.
Yeah, interesting. I think Osama said presence in 70 countries, operating 8 manufacturing plants, and then he can deliver any project you order to him within 50 days to Maldives. So the pace itself and the timing is, I think, very, very, very relevant to us. He explained very nicely about the production facilities, the raw materials and the supplies, and bringing out the products to the market. So it's developers. I just wanted to ask, what are the challenges that you face currently right now to consistently source materials that you wanted from India or maybe from abroad, and why Indian market has to be, or Indian manufacturing has to be, selected by the Maldivian companies? I think Khan Nazim can admit why you prefer to go with Indian manufacturers and producers and suppliers, and what are the advantages that you can tell us?
I think it's a very interesting question. I think as far as I'm concerned, the company is concerned, I think the first thing, the proximity, being closer, because the sailing time is 2 weeks now. So that's one of the advantages that we can take. And then, as I've earlier said, that we have scarcity in land, so we cannot keep our material in Mali. So it's very close by. We can order and keep the stock in close by in India, and then whenever we want, we can get it there in a shorter period of time. So that's the reason why I personally prefer, and I also recommend most of our partners to prefer the products in India. Is that the one particular reason? The other thing is that we are also working closely with the banks. I think SBI and other banks, some banks are here, working closely with the banks. So, I mean, the trust between the banks, the companies, and with the Indian companies is also quite good at the moment. So I would request the banks to work closely with us. Trust the industry, especially the consulting industry. We will not let you all down. I'm sure that the companies we are working closely with, the Indian companies as well as Maldivian companies, have worked very closely with the bank. So banks need to support us. And I'm sure that the currency situation at the moment will be eased in coming months. And that will also make easier for us, for all of us to do business. Thank you.
All right. I'm assuming some banking industry people are in the market, in the audience. So I just want to bring your opinion into this. The same question goes to you. What are the challenges that you face doing business with Maldives, whether in terms of freight charges, private services, layers of players in the market which supports you, or maybe give some hindrances to your supplies to Maldives, or sourcing from Indian markets and investing and developing your properties in Maldives?
I think always dangerous to talk about the challenges that you're facing, but I think Colonel Nazim already touched upon it. I think currency is a big one. So that is really something that in the long term need to find a solution, because all our imports are in USD. So and of course, banks have supported us, and they've hopefully will continue to support us. But maybe we need to take it up a notch so that it's the ease of doing business is even more. But even here, I think building key partnerships and having reliable uh, sort of suppliers helps there also. Uh, we have OPRO sitting here, Mr. Samir Vanikri. He's really helped us. He's recently in the past 1 year, because we were having a lot of supply chain issues. So, but then we found his company. They've been doing working with, I think, I don't know, countless number of resorts, and importing, exporting on a daily basis. So we realized that it's a win-win situation wherein a lot of our procurement now that we have to do directly, we through their companies. But it's all about then building those kind of relationships, nurturing them, and making sure that it's a win-win situation. Then you can overcome the challenges. But definitely, if I just had to point out and highlight, I think currency is one, and also I think it's becoming better by the day. But we've all faced this problem where maybe something will come to the port, and then it's been a while since it has not been cleared. But I think with the new port that the government is making, I think that problem will ease out even further, because in time is money for us.
Yeah.
So we cannot afford to waste even single days sometimes in projects. And if that goes, sometimes if it's taking 2 or 3 weeks and your material hasn't reached, it can get really it can be in a we can be in a soup, because we promised our customers an X date, and they do not care what challenges and what problems we are facing, and rightly so, because they expect that if we have committed them 2 years or 2.5 years, we're going to deliver in that time. So I think, yeah, that's
Yeah, we also do have an audience who are with us online through Zoom and watching us. They also have some questions. So rather than asking my questions, everyone, so I just wanted to open panelists to the floor, asking questions from the audience. If you have any specific questions to any individual panelists here. Yeah, you know, yeah.
Indian companies in this. Hi, good morning. Good morning to all of you. Good morning, Excellency. Yatin just told about me. My name is Samir, and we are handling now almost 9 properties. We take care of their assets, and we have completed already 3 projects, especially the MFP projects. Now, closely we are working with Asotech builders and basically handling their supply chain issues and supplying them, getting the things from India, sourcing all the items from India, and getting the things to their doorstep with the timelines. And in past 4 years, in fact, we have introduced closely 8 to 9 Indian companies in this country. And we understood their importance, and we know their product qualities. And we have introduced to various developers and architects, and they have liked this product, and they have been used in many of the projects, and more likely it will go to more of the projects soon. But coming back to the currency issues, if it is possible in future, India and Maldives can work in the local currency, what India used to work with the Gulf countries before. And if it can happen that way, it will be a really win-win situation for both the countries.
All right, I think the most appropriate panelist would be Khan Nazim. He has some connections even in the politics and then parliament. What could be your suggestion, sir?
Well, I think I'm not in the position to answer that question though. But I think, in my opinion, I think it's a good suggestion.
Yeah.
It will be easy for us to work. I think we have had negotiations during past governments to have trade in same currency. But I don't know the current situation at the moment. I'm sure that we need to find out and let you know, because I don't have that information at the moment with me. But I do prefer to do that. That would be easy. So I'm sure that both the governments could work on it. As far as foreign currency is concerned, I'm also very concerned about this issue. I've been discussing with my colleagues to put up a bill that 60% of the revenue, USD revenue, must be deposited and exchange through the banks. So that we are under discussion with the colleagues. Hopefully, I'm trying to put up a bill, probably probably the next parliament, so that the currency, the issues that we are facing as far as currency, USD currency is concerned, will be eased. So these are under discussions with our colleagues and our mentors as well. So answering to your particular question, I think both the countries, India and Maldives, have had discussions before. Currency swap has been discussed, and I think same currency trading also have been under agenda for a while. I'm sure that things will get eased soon. I don't think this will remain for long. So I'm very hopeful. I'm a very optimistic person. So I'm sure that things will ease down. The business committee will also be more comfortable in due course of time.
Right. Yeah, I think interesting. In the audience, we do have the former vice president as well as the former minister of finance. So Jihad also is. This has been passed on to the high levels. Will be taken to the next level. So I think this is an understanding which everybody needs, which the vibe itself says, yeah, we need to do something. The foreign exchange is something that everybody is scared of, but we need to do something. I think, yeah, it's said maybe in the next parliament we'll be able to see some lights in this. Any other questions? We do have developers, and then we do have no questions. Then any questions from the virtual audience? Do we have any questions? Okay. And I think Ushama talked about his factories and his plants, as well as his warehouses and godowns, installation of robotics, high technology. And then what are your expectations, in terms of bringing those technologies to Maldives? Is there any open, gateways where we can bring those things to Maldives to, improvise or improve or do some innovative things in the Maldives? As Khan Nazim highlighted, land is scarce in this country. It's very expensive. It's more like, luxury to Maldivians, and then it's very difficult to find those things. What could the technology would be helping us to do more and easy these things?
Yeah, absolutely. Actually, first of all, we wanted to educate the people.
Okay.
Actually, we are in ahead. Come up with orientation setup first of all, to educate the people how the bathroom functions are happening and how bathrooms are lively. We wanted to show the people how lively things are happening, and what are the materials that we are using for making the product. Let's hope if there is any opportunity, definitely we will come.
Let's explore that.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah. Any questions from the audience? Because usually the panel duration is 30 minutes before we conclude. Yeah, given to any panelists before we conclude, anything to add to the conclave participants, suppliers.
Well, as a concluding remark, I would like to assure the Indian companies that we are willing to work with you all. I'm sure that the business community, Maldivian business community, is very keen to work with you all. I would request you all to come to Maldives, invest in Maldives, and work with your local partners. I would like to see you all working with a local partner, so that our country, Maldives, the individual people will benefit from these factors. So please please don't be hesitant to come to Maldives. People to people relationship is there. Business to business relationship is there. So don't be afraid. Come to Maldives, things will change, I can tell you. So please do come, invest in Maldives and work with us and work with the government as well. I'm sure that the government is willing to work with all the business community. There's no hindrance. We are there to help you all. If there's anything that you need to do from the government, we'll be there to assist. I'm sure the Excellency is working very closely. So I'm sure that Excellency has been always kind enough to assist all of you all and working very closely with both the communities, like Maldivian business community as well as the Indian business community. So please do come. The second suggestion which I would like to make is that please do make showrooms in Maldives. We are working very closely with Jacua at the moment. We have been suggesting them to have showrooms so that they can showcase their products and the Maldivian people can feel the experience of their products as well. So do come to Maldives, have your showrooms in. I've seen showrooms coming in. I've seen recently few showrooms coming in with the new products. So likewise, please do invest and have showrooms where then Maldivians can have their experience centers been experienced.
Right.
So and the bankers are also here. So I also would like to request the banks to work closely with both the communities. Don't be hesitant. I'm sure that things will change soon and things will be easy for all of us. So thank you very much for inviting me. And I'm sure that this is a very important gathering. This is one of the such good events that have been taken place so far for last couple of months. I would like to see more interactions with the business community. I'm sure that this year we'll have another business exhibition in association with Masi. Do come, showcase your products. I'm sure that we all can make our dreams. We have good opportunities. There are a lot of investment opportunities in Maldives and more to come. So do come, believe in us, trust us, work with us. I'm sure that we all can make such good dreams. Thank you very much.
Yeah. Getting Chairman.
No, I think I cannot speak as well as Colonel Nazim. He has much more experience in public eye. But just to I think touch on that only, that I think there's uh, many misconceptions about working in the Maldives, but so far it has been a great journey for us as well. The Indian High Commission has been very supportive. The local partners have been very supportive. The business community, I think, thinks very differently. I don't think they care too much about what, by and large, is happening in the world, but accept how to make things work for everybody. And definitely, tying up with the local partners is something which we've always encouraged and done. We bring Indian products, but to execute and everything, we always work with the local partners because I believe they also have something to add in the local experience, which is necessary.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Some, yeah, anything to say?
Jaguar, actually, we are here since 2011, and most of the people adapt us here. They will accept us even from real estate or construction industry, even resort people also adapt us. And I wanted to tell them that there's no compromise for our quality. We can work for bulk supply to minimize the cost, as well as we can provide our product with 10 years warranty with service warranty. That we assure that our brand and our product will long lastingly, usable in this market.
Right.
Thank you.
Interesting. Just before we conclude, I think it's kind of Nazim said Indian suppliers should please come and start your showroom so we can go and experience, because Maldives expect these things. At the same time, both of these gentlemen said the relationship has to be strengthened and it has to continue. Then this has to be a strong partnership between Maldives, especially with the business communities. I think that's the only way which we can flourish as two parties as win-win for both. That's all for this panel. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
I'd like to request Mr. Nasreen to please. Thank you, Colonel Mohammed Nazim, Mr. Yatin Gulati, and Mr. Osama Farouk participating in the panel discussion. Ladies and gentlemen, we'll move to our next panel discussion for the day, which is on the topic of technology and renewable energy. For this panel, I'd like to invite Managing Director, Quantum Technology, and member of TIS family, Mr. Arif Saeed. Head of Steel Building Solutions, APL Apollo Tubes, Mr. Mohit Kapoor. Partner AUM, Mr. Manish Dixit. And founder Maldives Island Realty, Mr. Ahmed Shafi.
Yeah, welcome to the second panel discussion. The topic is going to be technology and renewable energy, which is a very important topic for Maldives, sensitive to technology, sensitive to environment, environmental threats. And then I think the government has so much policies and regulations which companies operating in the Maldives, doing business in the Maldives has to align with the sustainable goals, protecting environment, and then do business sustainably. This is the biggest talk. This is the talk of the town. This is globally what we are discussing and talking. Welcome to the second panel. I think I should start with Arif from here. So the question goes to the idea of cutting edge technology, because your company itself says it's very interesting in quantum technology. As the next level of innovation, which we will be seeing. AI is coming in, right? Augmented reality is being integrated, and then supply chain distributions, consolidations, developers, buildings, high-tech environment. We have seen, technologies booming in this industry. That's one of the reasons why we see these developments globally. So just touching on those things, your company approach the integration of these technologies artificial intelligence, data analytics, optimize operations, compete market as well as a local market. How are you doing this? In the Maldives and in other markets.
First of all, invited me here and to share my knowledge. And we are a multinational tech company that offers technologically advanced automation solutions to homes, offices, and hospitality industry. Our solutions actually control lights, fans, ACs, basically your entire electronic world. As a member of TIS family, I would say that we have stayed ahead of the competitive global market due to the efforts, time, and energy that we have put into innovation, cutting edge technology, and research and development. Actually, the research and development, we have invested so much in our company because we are a technology advanced solution provider. Today, it has led us to be at the coming to your question, the fruit of this commitment to the innovation in cutting edge technology. We are proud to say that we have achieved Edison Award in 2019 for the smart climate control solution. In 2020, we have received the Edison Award for superior parental and infant care solutions. So this is a remarkable solution, remarkable achievement we have achieved over the past years. At a forum like this, time is very limited. However, I would like to touch on the solutions that we provide and the advantages you could take out of these incredible solutions that we provide. In the any sector in terms of that, household, working environment, or hospitality industry. The TIS system, our smart automation genius, creates an artificial intelligence ecosystem around your environment by collecting and analyzing data, from various sensors and devices to give you the information of what it happens around you. It includes from energy usage and indoor air quality, water consumption, and more, empowering users to make informed decisions and optimize their home environment, comfort, efficiency, and sustainability. For example, your air condition can be switched off automatically by getting information from various sensors. Maybe the door is open, it automatically sends a small personalized message to your phone saying that the door is open, still the AC is on. And then if you do not act on it, it automatically switches off your AC. And then study shows that by implementing these smart solutions, we could save up to 20 to 30% of your energy bill, harnessing the waste energy. By saving energy, we could contribute to the contribute to the environment as well. So on a broader aspect, I would say that we have luxury resorts. I mean, starting from 2-star resorts to the 7-star luxurious resorts. That these properties has extravagant amenities like golf courses and beautifully landscaped gardens that need careful maintenance. Our system can smartly water these gardens and courses effortlessly. So thanks for the artificial intelligence and sensors that we introduce in our technology. So it ensures to stay at the top of our industry. So I would say that next generation AI is available, and then I would suggest and recommend all companies to embrace them. Then it would give you more insight of the environment, what is happening around your environment.
All right, yeah, interesting technology, automations, doing all of your household works automatically, integrating Alexa, integrating so many other automated processes, and then just a couple of clicks, you can manage all of these things. And then I talked about how can you save, energy, 20 to 30%, and then harnessing waste and reducing waste, and then focusing on. I just want to bring in Mohit Kapoor, in talking about renewable energy, talking about technology integration in supply chain, as well as how the developers and even using your ideas and technologies in the Maldives. In context of this idea, what technological advancements has your company gained, embraced, and to promote sustainability, how do these innovations contributes to both economic growth as well as environmental stewardship to Maldives as well as to Indian businesses?
Thank you. First of all, I'll take this opportunity to thank the Honorable High Commissioner of India and specifically the team led by Kiranji and Deepak who have made it possible for me to come here. And I'll start my points with a disclaimer as well as a commitment. So I'll first start with a commitment that please make sure that my predecessor in the first panel, Colonel, have been repeating that everything will be fine. So he has been repeatedly suggesting all of us to be here and don't be bothered about anything. So we firmly believe in being from India, where there are a lot of different sects, a lot of different ideology, a lot of people. We have this habit of having some altercations and differences among ourselves, but we firmly believe that relatives and friends are the backbone, but neighbors are most critical. And I've been hearing it from my grandparents and my predecessors that your family and your relatives will come when you will plan any festivities, when you will plan any celebration, but you will need your neighbors when there will be an emergency. And India has proudly been there, maybe late 80s or recently, as first panel discussed about COVID issues.
Right.
So yes, we are committed to be a most humble and one of the best neighbors for that. And we in India are facing a lot of differences among different sections. So even if there is a time bounds, a bit of a difference, that will ease out no issue. And the disclaimer would be, I'll be talking about a technology, a new technology in construction. So I believe technology is so great that it cannot be demeaned. Technology is not fashion that gets outdated. Technology gets updated, it gets improvised. So whatever construction technologies or infrastructure technologies have been doing rounds for say centuries, they all have done wonderful job. Whatever new technology comes in case of construction or any activity, they are just improvising and deliberating their ideas on whatever their predecessors have done. So if I talk about construction on steel tubes or I talk about construction of steel, it doesn't mean that we are demeaning the conventional RCC or concrete, because they have actually made the base for us to go on for research and development. And as I've heard in the last session, there were many viable discussions about time bound thing. So I believe, and if I get a chance to show my presentation or video later on, the very first slide says there are 4 basic parameters of any infrastructure project.
Right.
And they are the speed by which the project has been done, because if you lose on the speed and a stipulated time bound, then the very essence of the project goes out. If it is for a revenue generation, then you are losing money, you are losing more interest. And if it is for public service, then you are actually losing the very essence of it. Just believe how, if during an emergency, some like in the last global emergency, if construction would have not taken at right pace, the governments would not have helped. And we have done that. I'll show later on. And the other thing is, by doing speed, we cannot compromise on quality. And when we are talking about infrastructure development, specifically roads, bridges, or buildings which are to be used for humans, then we cannot compromise on quality. And then we are not like oil-rich countries or arms-selling rich countries, India or maybe Maldives. We have a specific budget. So maintaining speed and maintaining quality, we cannot compromise on cost as well. So we have to make sure that while maintaining the speeds and the quality, we are not spending too much. And even after doing all this, all our efforts will go down the drain if our construction activities or our development activities planned for our today and tomorrow are going to hamper the environment. What if our 3 generation later on, they are not able to breathe? I can tell you my example. My daughter is now 17, my son is 15. Around say 10 years back, when they have started developing their ideas, I went to northern state of Himalayas, and my kids were amused to see actual stars that they have been seeing in the books, because in Delhi we were not able to see this. And then my kids again saw those stars which they used to see whenever I go to some say coastal area for vacations or some Himalayan area. They were only able to see the clear skies and stars and listen to bird chirping during COVID when everything was stopped. So there's no point that we go on for development and we are hampering our environment effect. So what I suggest is, see, if I talk a clue about India, just I've been working there, around 9% of our GDP has been contributed by construction. And I believe, if not less, if not more, Maldives would have some the same ratio, because when you are developing, you have more scope of development, more scope of construction. So if a country's 9% of the GDP is being contributed by one sector, and if I talk about India, more than 5 million people get direct employment in construction activities. So just think about what will be the numbers in indirect. So given these two parameters, but there is another unfortunate parameter, around 30% of the entire pollution, the contributor is construction industry. So we have to take care of that also. So we have to keep on evolving on how we go on for certain technologies or solutions. Maybe you have to improvise a bit. Maybe you have to initially spend a bit little, which can negate those things. And in terms of our technology, which is a tubular construction technology, so in a basic layman's language, I can tell you, whenever you see a building, if you can just see everybody on your right side, that's my left, you'll see these glass facade. These are basic columns, which are the base of any building. And then what you see horizontally is a beam. So basic of any building is a column and a beam. And then there are floors, there are finishes of walls, there are roof. So what we have done in our technology is just replacing conventional RCC or concrete columns and beam, or conventional steel column and beam, which are built up sections, with a ready-made section of steel tubes, which are machine-made tubes, cold form tubes, which doesn't change the very chemical and physical properties of steel. We make them into tubes, we provide it to the fabricator, and it becomes a plug-and-play system. So we have been helping Indian government and private developers in India, right from the ones who are making warehouses, simplest of the projects construction, to factories, more complex things with heavy cranes and heavy loads of solar roofs, etc., to mid-rise hospitals, to high-rise hospitals, to railway stations, to airports. So we are helping governments to finish the basic structure of a building very fast, very economical. Like I'll give you an example. During second wave of COVID, during second wave of COVID, Delhi government gave us a chance to help them construct a oxygen plant very fast. It was an 15,000 square feet oxygen plant within Delhi's limit. If gone by conventional construction method, it would have taken at least 2 to 3 months to finish the entire building. We helped Delhi government to finish that building in flat 15 days. Because it was a plug and play system, everything was done in the factories. There was no welding at site, no stockpiling at site. One truck would come because of the travel foundations during COVID. One truck filled of sections would come at the site. It will be just bolted like a plug and play system, as you might be doing your modular furniture or modular kitchen appliances. It was just done like that. And within 15 days, you were able to finish that. On 18th day, Delhi started getting oxygen. Then we got a chance in this January 2022, just after COVID, when there were no labor in Delhi. And Delhi was facing water scarcity as well. We were given a chance to help government construct hospitals. I will show you in my videos 6 hospitals, G+4 and G+5 size, in totality 22 lakh square feet area. We helped the government finish those 6 different sites, 22 lakh square feet area, main structure or the frame or the skeleton of building in flat 100 days, which would have taken at least a year to finish. I know that was something which we achieved abnormally because of the COVID situation, but it has been a proven fact for last 3 years that whatever project we have overtaken, we have saved at least 50% of the construction time, provided at least 2 to 4% of more carpet area because of small sizes of column, have used less than 50% of the labor. And as I believe by the numbers that I've read, around 94% of the construction labor that is working in your island country is expatriates. And we all believe, even in UAE and America, not more than 50% of the construction labor is skilled or well-trained. So we have certain nuances of bringing in unskilled, untrained, uncultured labor also in your sites. Then there is a scarcity of setting up their labor camps. In our case, the construction activity, 70% will happen in the factory. So you just have to plug and play at the site. You won't be using water. So in our technology, you need only 10 to 20% of the water after the foundation has been done. In an island country, there will be a dearth of clean water as well, which has to be used in construction. Then, as I was hearing from Yatin about some supply chain issues, when we are talking about conventional construction method, there are more than 20 to 30 different components which we join together to do a construction. You have to be dependent on aggregate supply. You have to be dependent on sand. You have to be dependent on steel. You have to be dependent on cement, and then specific labors to be doing those jobs at your site. Where in our case, 70% of the structure will be done by only one team. That will be more than semi-skilled because they have to use certain machinery to operate them.
Right. Yeah.
So and then we will be saving more than 20%, 30% of carbon emission by using this technology. And then steel is a renewable technology, so we can reuse also. I say after 30 years down the line, Malaysian government planned to go vertical expansion. In a concrete or a conventional construction, you have to pay to demolish it and to disperse it. And as per steel, more than 90% steel you can reuse. And just consider the rate of steel after 30 years. So whatever you are spending today, you will be getting more than that in scrap at that time.
All right, interesting. I thought Mohit will go on, and just wanted to bring in Shafi to the discussion. So same idea in terms of you talked about lots of advancements in the construction industry, and then the speed is one thing, and then the quality is another thing. At the same time, you're not, as he said, not as rich as you can spend your open budget onto anything in your property. So what kind of technologies do you integrate? You have your ideas in terms of, it's like Arif also explained augmented reality in it, even in previous session also. I think Usam also talked about robotic arms installation in factories and plants. What kind of technologies do you integrate, and what are the foresight thinking that you have in your organization as well as to the audience here?
Thank you for the organizers for inviting me to speak in this delightful conference, which we are sharing our knowledges, experiences, and especially between two countries.
Right.
So our company or our enterprise has divisions from real estate to service to water sports to banking solutions. So in regards to what we are talking about is technology and renewable. Technology is one of the fundamental elements to us to become more environment friendly. By nature, we human beings are the cause of the environment disruptions. By technology, we are advocating knowledge, speed, persuasions to remove all the cost barriers for all these things. So in terms of the technologies which we are using, APIs, embedded technology which we are introducing to Maldives, which can sustain the environment in a magnifying way. There are technologies which we are currently holding on for a few years because the market is not that much. As you know, Maldives is our challenges of Maldives is our population, which derives a lot of things. But as a country of, I just came from Dubai. Dubai wasn't Dubai 30 years back. So currently Dubai has gone tremendously. So the integration of human capital with technology will go towards it. So technologies of APIs, AIs, the basics, what we are currently using is ChatGTP for industrial, all this stuff. In relation to construction, it's all about documenting, detailing out, or systematic engineering, what we are talking about. This gives you efficiency. There are softwares which we are holding on, which can bridge the gap between the time. Everyone is talking about time bounded. Time is what we have. I have 12 hours a day. Maybe some people have 16 hours a day. But we bring the gap between people, managing people, creating. So we enhance our time by technology. Like all the people in the panelists talk about what they have achieved with their technology. So currently we bring the system in a way that define us to provide the highest efficiency in providing carbon emissions as a 0%.
So this can be implemented in Maldives because we are a small country and we can easily implement these things, but it requires the stakeholders, governments, politicians, business enterprise. Like I said, Mr. Khan and Nazim discussed that we need to work together. We need to bridge those gaps between human elements, and the technology is one of the best things which we have currently.
Yeah, interesting. Thanks so much, Shafi. I just wanted to bring in Danish here. Sorry, Manish here. And how your company is navigating the challenges of integrating renewable energy as well as energy sources into your operations, and what advice can you offer to Maldivian businesses looking to adopt similar practices which you have been integrated into your business?
So, namaste, salam alaikum to everyone, and thank you for the High Commission for inviting me here today.
Yeah.
I think probably you got it wrong. I'm an architect.
Okay.
So I have limited, technologies that we can use, because most of the things that we do in my company, it's pre-construction. So the only technology that we can use is AI to a limit, and of course we have amazing softwares which are available today, and they are developing, and it's ever evolving. In terms of the renewable energy, I just wanted to bring about a topic in that. So I think more than renewable energy, sustainability and construction is a very important part of the global development, I think. And I think Maldives, the way it is developing and the new, in terms of how do you try to make it sustainable? One, you can't do 100% in Maldives because you are importing most of the raw material. But like my friend here, he said, technology what is being used in terms of quicker solution and cement-based and sand-based products, liability cost is equal to money. Environmental damage that it happens. In a business community terms, I would always like to tell them how much money they're going to make. So when it comes to the steel construction, if you look at after the whole thing is done, maybe after 20 years, you want to demolish it and do something else, you're going to get zero value. Probably you will be in negative when you're going to demolish the whole project. But when it comes to the steel structure, you're going to get money out of it, probably more money than what you paid that time. So that's a very tempting thing when it comes to the business community, when you try to give them the numbers.
Right.
So I myself, when I try to talk to most of my clients, I tell them one most important thing is try to use as much as natural resources in terms of your natural light and ventilation in your project. That eases down your requirement for sustainable energy. I'm not saying sustainable energy is bad. It's the best thing to ever happen. And I think both governments in India and Maldives should probably look at how to reduce the cost for the infrastructure that is needed in that. And one more point that you spoke about earlier regarding even the smaller companies or smaller resorts and hotels, if they look at trying to use the AI in understanding how much energy is being used in a building, it sounds too expensive. But I think 2 years down the line, you'll recover the cost. And after that, you're only saving money. And I think that is the most important factor here, apart from the fact that we all love our planet and we want to ensure that our future generation, they live happily. But at the same time, we need to ensure and we need to implement it now. Not looking at the governments who are going to support us. It's going to start from our own home. You started there, and I think everything will start getting implemented easily.
I think, just before concluding, because we have other panel as well, do we have any questions to the panelists from the audience? In terms of technology, in terms of sustainability, what practices you can bring and integrate into your operations? Or any ideas, any thoughts just before we conclude? All right.
I'll give them a chance to put up a question. If you your permission, I'm allowed to run a 3-minute video.
Sorry?
A small 3-4 minute video.
Yeah.
It will give them a lot of queries to come across, if you allow me.
Yeah.
So could you
Yeah.
please play the video? I think we should go there.
Yeah.
We've been building since the dawn of humanity.
Yeah. Thank you so
For
much.
thousands of years, we've evolved to build bigger. Now comes the next revolution in construction technology. APL Apollo Steel Building Solutions for better and faster construction. Recently used to build a hospital structure in just 100 days. PWD planned 5 hospitals last year. Work at the GTB site started in January 2022 with excavation, followed by raft, foundation and anchor bolt casting. The 1900 plus bedded GTB hospital was the largest built up area. Of more than 6 lakh square feet, conventional construction technology would have been too time consuming. The pre-engineered steel tubes were selected to complete this challenging project in less time. All steel fabrication work took place at fabricator workshops with zero on-site welding. Only structure assembly with high-strength bolts. Thousands of years, we've evolved to build bigger. Now comes the next revolution in construction technology. 80 to 90% of the structure was built on 4 section sites. Recently used to build a hospital structure in just 100 days. PWD planned 5 hospitals last year. Work at the GTB site started in January 2022 with excavation, followed by raft, foundation and anchor bolt casting. Drywall and deck slabs were erected and cast on tubular steel structures. The 1900 plus bedded GTB hospital was the largest built-up area. Of more than 6 lakh square feet, conventional construction technology tubular construction that offered the perfect balance of speed, quality, cost, and environmental friendliness. APL Apollo Steel Building Solutions give you lower project times, easier execution, and structure optimization. Eighty to 90% of the structure was built on 4 section sizes. APL Apollo Steel Building Solutions. A true revolution for future construction.
Drywall and deck slabs were erected and cast on tubular steel structures. Thanks to tubular construction that offered the perfect balance of speed, quality, cost, and environmental friendliness, APL Apollo Steel Building Solutions give you lower project times, easier execution, and structure optimization. APL Apollo Steel Building Solutions. A true revolution for future construction.
Thank you, APL Apollo, for sharing that video. I'm sure if you have any questions, Mr. Mohit Kapoor will be happy to answer them.
With the permission of the moderator, can I, this from the virtual, from Savio, Additional Director Vicky, can he have 2 questions shared from the audience side?
Does anybody from the audience would like to ask any questions to Mr. Mohit Kapoor?
Yes, sir, please. Can you hand over the mic to him?
Hello. Steel Hardware has one question. We are one of the biggest company who supplies materials and have huge warehouses. Our biggest challenge is scarcity of warehouse and spaces. And your presentation is quite impressive.
Thank you, sir.
And faster installations of the warehouses. I like to know how much the percentage of the cost can be reduced when in terms of the conventional warehouses, like a concrete or other warehouses, and then your.
So, if I may ask, your question is specifically for warehousing construction or for any construction?
Yeah, warehouse. And
so, if you can see this red beautiful badge over it, I'm founder member and chairman of the projects committee of Warehousing Association of India as well. That is India's #1 association of the entire ecosystem of warehousing. Rather, we were the partners of Government of India and National Logistic Policy. So, warehousing, please.
Can I request all the esteemed guests to be seated? We will have opportunity after the panel discussions are over for networking. Thank you. Please be seated.
And I would request them to please adhere to what Kiranji has requested. Can I have your attention, please, gentlemen? Even I'm waiting to get a cup of coffee. So, sir, if I talk about warehousing, as you must have noticed when I started my pitch as a moderator, I said from the simplest of the construction like a warehousing. So in warehousing, we are achieving excellent results, not just because I am myself from an ecosystem of warehousing, because in warehousing, what we have achieved is we have saving at least close to 8 to 15 to 20% of the consumption of steel, and we compare a conventional built up section steel building of a warehousing or our system of warehousing. And then what best we are providing is, as you know, one of the major issues in warehousing is material handling equipment, movement of material handling equipment. And in a warehousing, if you are leasing it out or you are using it, your revenue depends upon the usable area or saleable area. So in our case, if you say conventional construction of warehousing, if you just go and notice, more than 99% you will find the span to be in between 18 to 22 meter only. Technical, techno-commercial issues with conventional construction of warehousing. Whereas in our case, we are giving longest spans of more than 100 meter as well for certain cold sheds. But for normal warehousing, which is say 15,000 square feet warehouse, we are, if not more, eliminating at least one entire row of column in between. I'll give you an example. We have recently given designs to two warehousing. One is at a place called Hassan Hoskote. It's place near Bengaluru called Hoskote. Other is a place which is a warehousing hub near Gurgaon, Delhi. In both area, what we have done is one project is of a 1,40,000 square feet, other is of 2,30,000 square feet. We have erased an entire row. By entire row, the width was around 105 meter. A conventional construction would have taken 22 meter, 4 to 5 bays. We have given them 35 meter, just 3 bays. So what it had resulted is less cost of foundation because an entire row has been done, less time in foundation, more usable area, more saleable area in between, and then we give more clear height as well. So I can assure you that with my experience, say for a 1 lakh square feet warehouse, we can save you, if not more, then at least 30-40 lakh rupees in Indian currency, and giving you more space as well and more time as well.
Yeah, one more question.
Please, sir.
Because we Maldives has a very limited land, as you know that, and still we need a lot of warehouses and places. So the cost of again acquiring the land is also very high here, and also building a warehouse is also very high. So for example, if to build a 10,000 square feet of land maybe cost $1 million. If we have that much money, then we can do trade more import more goods and sell it. But if we invest money on acquiring the land and acquiring the warehouse, building the warehouse, it gain a cost. So cost-effective constructions of the warehouse is very important for our development, I think. And the other thing is, how about the quality? Because Maldives is island nations, and we have a very windy and salty environment. How about the corrosion rate?
See, and I have to ask you one question: what is the current construction material being used primarily in warehousing? Is it all concrete or is it steel, sir?
Both concrete and steel.
So you must be going like Indian food godowns, wherein they use up to 3 meters concrete building and above that steel. See, sir, if we talk about windy condition, we have designed Indian warehouses for private owners as well as government clients with a wind speed of up to 60-65 miles per second in areas like Kargil and Jammu and Kashmir and in Northeast. We have designed warehouses. See, we just have to, this is not an alien technology, but as I said, we are just replacing conventional column and beam with our tubular system. So like we are if we are designing any conventional building, we have to take in care the seismic loads as well as the wind load. Same formula applies here also. And as my co-panelists, the architects sir said that we are using certain softwares right now to design a structure. So in those softwares or in those manual calculation, we just have to consider the specific wind load as well as the specific seismic load, and another thing, the soil condition. Rest everything will take care of itself. So yes, we can, this system can withstand, rather this can withstand windy speed much better. And if you talk about the saline environment, then even in a normal concrete structure or normal steel structure, you have to use certain epoxy paintings to take care of the saline environment. That can be replicated in this system also, sir.
Yeah, okay, thank you.
Rather, it will be much better because just consider, uh, sir, just consider integration of any paint on cement plaster and integration on paint on steel. And when we compare steel with a conventional, an HI beam, painting an HI beam will be tough because of geometry, but painting a rectangular beam is very easy, and that can be done not just in factory as well as at site as well, sir, because of the less complicated geometry of it, sir. Any other gentlemen? Or the ladies here, please? Because these queries actually help us to improve in our next presentation and our next research. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, Mr. Arif, Mr. Mohit, Mr. Manish, and Mr. Shafi for participating in the panel discussion. Ladies and gentlemen, we now have a very special video presentation by Shipping Corporation India. Can we have the AV, please?
Hello. Hello. Hello, good morning. Hello. Good morning, everyone.
Hi, Mr. Vinod, you can start the presentation.
Yeah, thank you very much, madam. Thank you. Thank you very much. Good morning, everyone. First of all, I would like to thank you, Indian High Commission and team and the host and government of Maldives and all the available dignitaries for this conclave. Thank you very much. I will start with my small presentation. Yeah. The first slide, please. Next one. Yeah, thank you very much. As we have mentioned, India Maldives service, during the visit of our Honorable Prime Minister Shri Narendra Modi to Maldives in June 2019, he thought of to improve the bilateral trade between two countries, and subsequently the MOU was signed on 8 June 2019 to start a direct passenger come service between two countries. Further, in 2020, the service was launched, IMS service, India Maldives service, by redeploying we were already having a vessel MCP Leans in our East Coast service. So we redeployed that vessel on this service. Accordingly, in September 2022, this vessel was redelivered as the charter period was completed for 2 years. Thereafter, to continue the service, under the guidance of Government of India, we enchanted MSS Galina and started this service after the gap of 2 months on 5th May 2023 from Tuticorin. So this is a direct service between India and Maldives from Tuticorin to Malé, and to increase maximum volume, because initially we thought the volume was per week, it was around 40-50 boxes. But recently we have seen gradually the volumes are going up. Lot many vendors are coming up, lot many exporters are coming up with special equipment, construction equipments, and we are trying to maximize. We are exploring all the opportunities like West Coast, East Coast of India, where we can increase the volume with this direct service from Tuticorin to Malé at the minimum possible transit time. And we are giving as much as possible focus on increasing. We are exploring West Coast of India. Now recently we are trying like Mundra, Kanda, Gujarat ports and maximize the volume on this leg. With this, and I would like to go to next slide, please. This is the operational glimpse of MSS Galena we had, which was running on our service. Next slide, please. Snapshot of the vessel. Sorry, by mistake, we have mentioned MC Bliss. That was the earlier vessel, but this features are given for MSS Galena, the vessel available on this leg. Yeah. Till now, since we have introduced our vessel MSS Galena, we have given a small summary of the volumes from India to Malay and from Malay to India. Recently, we have seen huge volumes of MTs are moving from Maldives to India too. So the volume has picked up on return leg. Normally, we were thinking this business is only from India to Maldives, but recently we have seen good volumes throughput from Malay to India. And we are trying to build up as much as possible, because that's why we are focusing on West Coast and East Coast, other ports, to increase the volumes. This total duration from Tuticorin to Maldives is 9 days. This cargo composition which we have given, now maximum you can see from this graph, the construction material, where like one of the parties like AFCON and other big customers were loading maximum volume per week from India to Maldives. And these are other food items, furniture, household, who are contributing to 9%, consolidated cargo, agri products, poultry products, medicine and pharma, and others. So this is the cargo mix which we have given. And from, as we have mentioned, from Maldives, we are getting the SOC freighted MTs for the mainliners who are carrying the cargo from various locations globally. Next slide, please. This port-wise, given the combination that, as I mentioned, main focus, like currently we are connected from Tuticorin to Maldives, but from other locations we have mentioned Cochin and other ports, because we see that the volumes are coming from Nhava Sheva, Mundra, Chennai, like West Coast, East Coast. So we are trying to build up that volume too. Next slide, please. Thank you very much. This is a small presentation which we have made. If you have any points, and we would request all the dignitaries from various fields to support SEI, where our Government of India has started the service to build up maximum volume on this bilateral trade. And we are trying to reach out all other locations too, so we can divert our vessel to East Coast or West Coast, wherever the maximum volume comes up, to increase the trade and support bilateral trade between these two countries. Thank you very much. Hello? Hello?
No. Hmm. Hmm. Hmm.
Ladies and gentlemen, our apologies for the inconvenience. We had a power issue. We'll be starting right now. So thank you, Mr. Vinod and the Shipping Corporation of India for the wonderful presentation. We'll now move on to our third and final panel for today's conclave. May I once again invite Mr. Ibrahim Nasreen to moderate the panel. And for this panel, I'd like to invite Managing Director, Concierge Group Maldives, Ismail Imran Rushdie, Director, Mohan Mutta Exports, Tejraj Jain, and President, SEFM Abdul Latif.
One. Right. Hello, good morning. Last but not least, and then we have interesting questions to ask and very experienced panel with lots of experience in logistics and supply chain management. And then we have in mind to talk about challenges which we face in this market. So we do have Imran, the Managing Director of Concierge Group Maldives. And then we have yeah, I have lots of ideas to it. So just to ask Imran, I think I'll start with Imran. Ongoing planning in terms of collaborations, and it says with Indian businesses, mutual logistic challenges that you are trying to solve and address, as well as in Maldives, as well as in abroad. And what opportunities do you see for enhancing efficiencies in cross-border trade to Maldives?
Thank you very much for inviting me and allowing me to share some of my experiences in the logistics and cargo side. And thank you, Indian High Commission and the event organizers. Collaborations, we are working very well with Indian companies, and we are also finding all the means, all the ways that we could give more better, fast services to this industry. Because shipping and logistics is very key important, we play a very key important role in delivering and completing the projects with our challenges with port, airport facilities, space, and many more issues that we have faced. I come from a long-term logistics history. I started in 2003, and with different companies I have represented in the Maldives, in aviation, airlines, and shipping industry, as well as freight forwarding agencies. So with good brands, I have also got some experiences that I'm trying to implement in this country, but with the few challenges, but in pipeline, which is going to be easier than before. Right now, to make it more efficiency, we are working on 3 to 4 points, which is like we are trying to implement multiple payment types, which is first is for the end customer to ease their payment models for the services that they are requesting from us. Like some paying credit, some paying Visa, some paying other means of payment modes. Secondly, is we are trying to have localized prices in our systems. So that means like customers at the end would prefer to have a displayed a pricing which is more familiarized with them. So it will be more convenient with them. And our counterparts in India, service providers are giving us a very good assistance on this. So we are implementing it. And then we have consolidation payment plans, which is like end-to-end, which means that when the cargo is moved, that the payment is done throughout the cargo until the shipping. So which means that sourcing and including the shipping, payment will be done in one consolidation. So which means it's also another easier payment. For sure, yes, we will be working with many banks, which will be helping us also. And that is the little bit of a planning and methods we are working on putting this into efficiency. And with a very high technology knowledge of Indian companies that we are working with, I think it's a doable, and it is going to be a very easy model which we will be creating to the Maldives customers and plus international.
Yeah, I think Imran highlighted. So it's going to be one-off payment with bill of lading. It's a combination of multiple payments to different parties that you have to.
Yeah. Yes.
So it has to be paid one-off. You don't have to pay in between payments. You don't have to do the in between payments, right?
Yes, creating such that the sourcing and freight, everything, and one-stop payment.
One-stop payment. Okay, good. I think that's going to be minimizing lots of payment issues, as well as some of the issues which we face in terms of foreign exchange as well. If you have to do some one payment.
Correct.
Yeah.
And most interesting is the localizing the currency mode. Like we want to give the customers that are paying in Maldives familiarized currency payment.
Okay. Right. Yeah. Also, I think I want to bring into this. What are the challenges? What kind of ideas that you can share with us in terms of logistics and supply chain that you practice in your organization, as well as some ideas and advices to the Maldivian businesses or Indian businesses who are interested to supply something to Maldives?
First of all, thank you so much to call for this panel. Thank you, High Commissioner. So to call all the construction industry to know that logistic is the heart for any construction industry. You can ask anyone in this who are into the construction. Your maximum 25 to 30% of your cost is construction cost in Maldives, which is the highest compared to anywhere in the world. right from resort construction, the development which is happening in Hulumale or the airport. These are the categories which is happening in Maldives. We have been here for 3 decades, so we can understand what's the difficulty each one is facing and how it can be categorized and solved. First of all, the first 2 panels happened, they were talking about technology and how it has to be improved. We need not do great things, but if we can optimize the logistic, that can improve a lot, cost efficiency for the group, for the entire Maldives, all the construction industry. Coming to the point of if it is a development in Kulumali, which is the biggest development which is happening, and just 1 or 2 months back, they are developing and they close the jetty. So I can see whoever is developing in Kulumale, they're feeling the heat of the jetty is not there. The materials are not able to get in time. Earlier, straight away, the material were able to come there. So for Hulumale alone, if we can have a dedicated inside and harbor, which is near the jetty area, that will improve a lot of logistic challenges for the development in Hulumale. Coming to resorts, airports, the challenges are huge. Everything has to come to Malé port. It has to be clear and it has to be double handle, and then it goes to the resort. Today, a product reaching in Maldives to any of the resort, it has to be handled multiple times, 5 to 7 times, which is increasing a lot. I think so there are countries like India and Maldives, if we can have the special economic zone warehouses at both ends, and we can stock the material at both ends, which will help a lot for the industry. Logistically, as Shipping Corporation of India has already put a vessel, I think so they have to put the other part of India also, because Gujarat, Bombay, they are the major ports. If they can put one more vessel, it can ease the supply chain. Being from India, the biggest thing is material can reach in 15 days time. Someone was emphasizing 15 days. Fantastic. Today in the industry, when we do a project, there are only 3 words we say: planning, planning, planning. Because we plan today, after 60 days, it reaches to the resort for the construction. So it is very, very important if we can plan properly the logistic movement at both ends, and India being so close to it, we can reach to the next level. The 15 days delivery for any construction industry in Maldives is like a boon. And planning 60 days means your cash flows are blocked. Everything is blocked. Because as I'm in the industry of shipping, I'm also into the logistic, I'm also into the construction industry. I can make out what difference it can make hugely if the logistic can be planned perfectly at the both ends. I think so there's a great scope of reduction in the logistic cost, and the construction costs can come down and the supply can be more efficient from India. Shipping Corporation can play a very big major role by putting more ships. And I emphasize that High Commission can put much more effort, and it will be really helpful for the country. Thank you so
Right,
much.
interesting. I think talked about multiple handlings, repetitions, redundancies, doing the same thing just to deliver to the doorsteps of the required businesses, and then give some interesting ideas in terms of, I think something related with Imran also said, consolidation could be easier, when dispatch could be easier if it's closer to the harbors, it's closer to the ports and things. And I think traffic management also you talked about in terms of pumping this into these markets and then bring into the supplies to the end users. I just wanted to bring in Latif into the discussion of it's a uniquely geographic country, right? Dispersed islands, and then do you have innovative logistic solutions which we are using in the Maldives? Could be very smaller, could be sometimes bigger, depends on how you use it. So what kind of ideas do you have to say as the business implementing to overcome some of these transportation issues, some of these logistic issues in the Maldives? What are your ideas, and especially representing SMEs here?
First of all, I must thank the Indian High Commissioner and their staff and the Indian colleagues from the industries that are here. And thanks for the wonderful presentation given before. And I have learned a lot of things which I wasn't aware completely from them. Thanks for that. I will try to come back to the logistics issues we have here and try to connect that with the conditions we have in Maldives, how I think we should perceive it easier. Oh, there's an old saying that says, if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together. That's something that applies to the Maldives and in this situation we have. That's one thing. Two, I heard in one of the presenters here who spoke before me said Maldives is a small country. Maldives is not small. If you look at the exclusive economic zone, Maldives is the 32nd largest EEZ in the world. And we have 1 million nautical miles in the economic size of Maldives. And our location is just in the center of the world, whether you look at air or sea. And our parent or our big brother is India. And we are a very small dot in the middle of that. And coming back to what I said earlier, I think in this success, we should try to go together. And I can tell you one of the experiences I have had in the worst time of the COVID we have had in Maldives. We have had a lot of Indians moving through Maldives to Middle East because of the logistical issues they have had at that time. There were 3 incidents where a lot of Indians are stuck up here because the logistics were not handled correctly. And some of those companies, they are big companies in India. The owners knew me and they called me up and asked me to go have a look and help to see how this can be sorted out. The problem was when the people came, the documentation that was issued for them for hotel accommodation in the Maldives were not genuine. And they got held up at the immigration. I had to intervene 3 of those situations to sort it out. When I deeply look into that to see how it has happened, it was unfortunately some friends of mine who are also Indian travel agents who tried with another Indian employee of another company in Maldives try to do the logistics of that without going through the proper companies. And Indian media, I read on Indian newspapers on those issues. On the local newspapers, these issues were there. I think instead of trying to do things like that, we should try to learn from Yatis and from Colonel Nazim. That's how we should go in partnership with the people here. India is a big company, big country, strong country, and we are small. And I think working together, the progress would be more stable and we can go more far. That's one. Two, why you asked me about the logistics, how I think these logistical issues can be handled here. I think the biggest logistical problem we have is transport. Like I have said earlier, Maldives is not small and it's on a straight line. And 15 days moving from India to Mali doesn't solve the logistic problem. Like Colonel Azim had said with his experiences, the problem is when it comes to Mali, unloading and storing. I think a last solution would be that the Indian companies can talk to the Maldivian companies like STO and so on, and have warehouses built in different parts of the Maldives, have the logistical items, the items stored on those places, go in partnership with these companies like RCC or STO or MTCC, and find a medium, find a mechanism in which you can work on this. That's one thing. The other problem we have here is the financial issues. Unfortunately, the dollar shortage we have in this country is coming because of many reasons, out of which one of them is that we do not have a lot of foreign banks here. I think my friend, last Vice President Jihad, is an economist. He would understand what I'm talking much better than me. And what happens here is we didn't have a lot of foreign banks here. We have only India and Sri Lanka bank. And with India, we are able to do a lot of business because we could soak money. But if you have had a lot of other nationalities like that, the dollar shortages will not be there because we can use those countries to re-export or re-import or for purchasing through those banks. We will have less problems with the dollars. I think this is something the Indian authorities can help the microeconomic system here to solve their logistics by getting into this. As far as I know, in our central bank here, they do not have a quota allocated in the lending, saying a certain segment, certain percentage of lending should be for a certain segment. We do not have this, I think. And because of that, the facilities for SME sector to do the business is very, very limited here. That's another problem. I think these are the kind of situations we can look into, kind of details we can look into to make our logistics much easier. I don't want to take all of your time out, but individually, if there is a need or someone wants to do a survey, I can go on telling details on this for very long. I know these difficulties very much because in 2019, when we had the first India Expo, our NGO, SME Federation, organized that. We made few trips to Delhi and Mumbai and Bangalore and the major other cities. We organized in 2019, we had this India Expo here. Thanks to the Indian High Commission, they were really supportive to us to have this. I think 35 Indian companies were taking participating. There was a state minister sent by the Indian government, and we had a lot of support on that. And then everything discontinued because the COVID came. And during that time, in one of my presentations I made in Delhi, I think FICCI was very much involved in that, FICCI and most other industrial associations. I told them something which I want to repeat here as my last word, perhaps today. I told them, governments come and governments go. Right. But every time government changes, we have a turmoil coming up, or we have a very too smooth time there. Nobody likes to do anything. So instead of building relationship with government to government, we should look into the possibilities of building relationship, people to people relationship, because they stay there. When there are tie-ups with the people of both countries, whatever the government come and go, it doesn't matter because no government can afford to go against the people. And that's what I told them in Delhi when I was giving a presentation to the Indian traders, in which most of the trading associations were there, including the SME Federation, FICCI, and Constructors, Contractors Association, and so on. I think about 8 or 9, we signed few MOUs also with them. Then we had the Indian Expo here, and after that, with the COVID, we stopped like 2 days ago. I think this is, in my view, these are how we can go to overcome our logistical issues. Thank you.
I think, very nice. The genuine ideas locally contexted into the situations which we have, talking from the local context. I just wanted to bring Imran into this because that we've talked about lots of challenges in terms of, how we practice, not only as a business, but same as like how you apply these things in different aspects of, delivering these things. What are the unique challenges that you face in terms of implementing and overcoming transportation distribution hurdles in the Maldives?
Thank you. First of all, I think to Maldives, we are right now using the mode of transportation is air and sea only. And I see that from the supplier to the customer needs to be synchronized in one platform, which means like, some authorities still use manual and some other authorities, they use technology, and some other authorities use other modes of communication. So I think if we could bring everybody into one platform, which is an easy access where from the time of loading till the time of delivery, if all the authorities and customers plus the suppliers are synchronized together, it will be a very helpful challenges that we have. It could be sorted out. So that is one thing at first I would recommend everybody to work on. We all can do that. So that will be, supplier will know, and even the customer will know where the movement is. And especially Maldives is, and we can say 99% import country, and everything is imported. And India is so nearby. So I think if we could bring all the authorities to one platform, it will be very easy to overcome these challenges.
Coming to what are the ways that you can advise us? You have been doing business in the Maldives for a very long time, so with your experience, what are the ways which we can address the last mile delivery challenges, disruptions in the delivery side, or in the entire supply chain side? So what could be the cost of delays? What could be the, in terms of losses to the businesses, to the economy? And then what are the areas which we should pay attention to minimize? As you said, plan. Only planning would be enough, or do we need to have any infrastructure implemented, as previous panelists talked about? And we need warehouses in the Maldives as well, like one of the audience also talked about. So what are your suggestions for this?
Going to the planning, as I said in my earlier question also, that we must have two places, the logistics support, a special economic zone where any company can bring the material and keep it here. And any of the Maldivian wants any product, they can straight away take it, because this is what is happening in Dubai or any part of the world. And that is, it's growing a lot. So it becomes like a custom duty free paid custom house where the product can be kept by the Indian companies and people can come buy and pay the duty and take the material. This, I think so it is on talks. A lot of time it has been suggested, because being land very expensive, maybe government can subsidize the land cost and make this as a trade partnership between two countries, which can help a lot to the country for the logistic losses which they face. Because when you start a construction site, your labor are idle if the material doesn't come at site, which is a huge loss, which is not in numbers, but people who are doing into the construction industry, they understand. Like there may be 50 people or 100 people working at the site, and if the material is not in time, they lose it. So if we can do this, it can really help to the next level, and that's the best solution which we can look forward for it.
All right. Again, just wanted to ask Latif also, representing the SMEs as well as small businesses. I think Iman also said partnership, collaboratively doing things in the Maldives is going to be easier. That's, I think, the idea that he is putting forward for all of us. So what could be the ways which we can, encourage everyone to be on a platform like this? And what are the challenges which we're facing? Either it's because of the way we do business, or either because we have lack of policies or regulations and laws in this country.
I think the laws in the country and the politicians are not really stagnant. They're very flexible here. And with the current situation of Maldives, we have discussed about finding the solutions like what we have discussed is very easy, especially in terms of the distribution to the atolls, to the far locations. To seek out a solution would be in the interest of everybody. And then another thing that I would like to highlight here is that Maldives is actually not a small market for stocking, because we are in the shipping route of many destinations, and then a lot of things could be easier to dispatch from Maldives than running a vessel that is going from Pacific to Atlantic. A vessel that is going from Pacific to Atlantic or vice versa, it'll be easier for that ship to be stopped and loaded from Maldives than going to Calcutta. And I think for projects like this, logistics to do and so on. And government in the Maldives would support for projects like this. I tell you another experience I have had. One of my very first learning lessons after schooling, I started working at the airport, and for one reason that I was going and talking to the collector of customs at the airport on some issues of European goods that came and held up the customs, and I was trying to get it released for. It was some photographic materials of Maldives for promotion. And I think most of us would know Michael Friedel. I can remember it was 25 years ago this happened. And that day with these goods came Michael Friedel, who's a very famous German photographer, and he was at the airport. I went and I spoke to the collector of customs, asking him to find a solution to release it. He gave me a couple of options. And I told him, can you give me a much simpler way? And then what he said to me is, look, Latif, we have so many people who sees what's going around. And with all of them, must have some system to do. And then he referred a very nice quote in that day, saying that when mosquitoes start biting, you can't keep quiet. Then I understood he's talking about when the community or when majority of the people start talking against you or something wrong you do, it's going to be a problem. So it's better that we do things in a way that these mosquitoes are okay with, and that's something I have learned from that. So I think we should put the government, and government should first come and agree to do this. But before that, I think it would perhaps be interesting to get your NGOs, talk to our NGOs together and come to an MOU and then go to the governments, because when trade organizations agree on something, the governments, any government is working with that actually, and it will be a shorter cut and a faster way to go into that. Thank you.
Sure. I think talk about multiple handles of these things between multiple points. So what could be the two governments can do, as well as the business community, the fraternity can do to improve those challenges?
So coming material to Malé port is not a challenge.
Okay.
As per him, and everyone knows, material from port to the islands is the biggest challenge. There are multiple islands. Second, there is a restriction that it can be handled only by locals. No foreign investor is allowed to invest in this. I think so the collaboration, and the government must open up the collaboration for local transportation, which can open up the market, and the rate can get reduced. And there must be a mutual agreement between a Maldivian company, a foreign company can invest in, so that entire local transportation can be taken care of. This is one which, if can be taken forward, it will be really great.
All right. Yeah, transportation is a huge challenge. Latif wants to add some.
I think that can become a complications when it is singly handled. That's what I mean. A lasting solution going far or very far would be to go in partnership, because the logistical issues, like what Colonel Nazim said, is very, very costly to have them stored here. Land cost is very expensive here. Right. And maintenance will continue to be part of that cost. Maldives is on one straight line, and then this Maldives, the country will develop eventually in time. The faster we do, the better for everybody else. And then now new airports are coming. Huadu has maybe majority of the islands. There's another international airport coming up there. And if you have to source the logistical things from Malé to Huadu, it's going to be a problem. They can easily have the customs, ports, and such services in any of those locations. So when we have warehouses, storage in Huadu, we can have some in Adu. The logistics of those people should be to calculate how the development is coming and store it there. That would be the thing. And then whoever makes the storage itself will generate money. We have a lot of land, a lot of lagoons, which can eventually turn out to be business. And it will never go out of the business for another 4 million years. Because I have recently seen a research which says that, which was talking about the marine environment in the Maldives. For that ambience underwater to create, for that life to come as it is, it takes about 4 million years. This is what the conclusion of the thing. So artificially, we cannot build that ambience, that thing. So there's nothing to be worried about because Red Sea is building up. They build very nice hotels, but then they will need that much of time. They cannot equally build the ambience that is in the water of the Maldives. So this business will never go out in the Maldives. That's what I think, because there is future. And we are very close to each other, India and Maldives. I think before somebody else come and do it, this is how we should be discussing. Look for the future. Look to go far, not fast. Thank you.
All right. Yeah. For the long run, for the long term, I think the sustainability and then prosper together is the idea. I think everyone is. I just wanted to open the panel for the audience to ask any questions. Do you have any questions from the audience to the panel? Yeah. Yeah.
Thank you. I think it's a very important topic that we have been discussing. Logistics is the army march on its belly. It's a saying. So I think it's very most important things logistics for all the projects. I would like to highlight. Nobody has highlighted that now the special economic zone bill is being reactivated again. So that means Maldives is open up again for investment, especially for logistics. In Tilafushi, there is a special area allocated for special economic zone. So I would recommend and suggest those who are in logistics to form a consortium where you need to invest minimum $100 million. It's not much for people like here to invest. So I would recommend the logisticians here to form a consortium and come to Maldives and invest in the special economic zone. So I'm sure that will definitely help the industry, especially the industry which I'm working is the construction industry, and even the rest as well. So that's my recommendation. And my question for the panel is that we've been having a lot of difficulties in logistics getting items from Colombo and elsewhere,
right?
And even from India as well. Most of the items, most of the containers which float from other parts of the countries are going through Sri Lanka, and most of these containers are mainly stuck in Colombo, where there are a lot of delays. So my question is that, is there any way that the logisticians working closely with us can do a better logistical support than all the containers without going through Colombo? If we can come directly from India to Malé would be the preferred option. But still, it is been diverted to Colombo because there are reasons for it as well, because we are not getting enough cargo to take it back. So mostly it's coming through Colombo. So that has an effect for our projects. So is there any plan for it, or what are especially Mukta group has been doing it, and there are other parties as well doing it. So any other plans to bring direct vessels from India to Maldives?
Yeah,
thank you.
Interesting. Yeah, Imran and Mukta, I think one of you can.
Thank you. It's a question. It's a question that everybody has been raising to our group of companies and other businesses. Air freights, we have no issue. We have space, and for containers, as Mr. Nazim has mentioned, we have a challenge. Because first thing is the vessel operators or the agencies that we work with, even though we have quite a number of direct movements from Dubai and India on containerized shipments, the vessel operators are yet not ready to grow a direct container shipping to Malé port. So Colombo is a hub in the port. They have quite a number of vessels sailing from Indian ports to Colombo. And yes, we face a lot of delays. We face challenges in getting the Colombo to Malé on feeder vessels. I hope that it's a discussion that and a planning that we are every day, like we do that, because we have a quite number of containers coming from Dubai every month. And also we have a quite number of containers coming from India, different ports. So Dubai is one port and India has different ports. So it's the challenge we have. But for break bulk, yes, It's already operating directly. We are working on it, and I hope that, if more and more Indian business parties come into joint venture with us in the Maldives and open their businesses and projects in the Maldives, yes, definitely, we will see direct vessels calling from India to Maldives. Definitely, it is going to happen, and we are strongly working on it.
Thank you. Can I also request Shipping Corporation of India to answer this question?
Yes, thank you. Mention, because yes, SCI is running a direct service. It's every time the vessel is scheduled. So we are very much interested and would request each and every member to please support SCI. And we will subsequently share the details of our local offices. And, what I mentioned in my presentation, we are in fact trying to connect all other locations. Now, currently we are putting from Tuticorin to Male, but we are focusing, exploring the like opportunities to connect all West Coast and East Coast and collate at one port Tuticorin, because we want to keep the transit time as lowest as possible. So that's why we will connect those cargo at Tuticorin and we will give the best possible service. So hope everyone support us in this cause. Thank you.
Kiran, can I come in? I have a question. I'm Savio. I have a question to SCI, Shipping Corporation of India. Am I audible?
Yes, Savio, go ahead.
Okay. Thank you. Of course, as the first of all, I like to congratulate High Commissioner of India, His Excellency Munum Mahavir, and the Kiran and the CFM and the other business partners for joining, organizing this event, India Maldives Developers Conclave. We have a lot of questions. We have for the awareness of participants, the physically present in Maldives, we have 100+ participants joined from various parts of India for this event on live at the Fiki Bike platform, and also it's also given on live streaming on YouTube also. I will just start with the question on SCI. As SCI is very much aware that we did a study with the High Commission of India in that promoted the starting of the direct vessel connectivity between India, Tuticorin and Cochin. Of course, now the Tuticorin Maldives is going well. Now, when we approach this program, there are a lot of manufacturers and suppliers, especially from these the steel industries and tiles, especially in the Gujarat areas and Rajasthan also and Maharashtra. They are also very keen to tie up with on providing supplies to Maldives. So can we have a vessel operation, some study also preliminary, some study conducted so that we can have a vessel operated from Gujarat or Maharashtra to Maldives also for taking these suppliers, that rather than bringing all the supplies and to Tuticorin and supply to Maldives. So that will be really good if you can just highlight more light on the same. That will be really appreciated.
Thank you very much, Savio. I'm Vinod here, General Manager, Shipping Corporation of India. I oversee the container shipping services of SCI. Now, coming to your question regarding connectivity out of West Coast ports of India, already we are operating a service called Smile Service, which is connecting between Mundra, Kandla, Pipavav to Cochin as well as to Tuticorin. So all the containers which are bound for Mali are picked up from, including our NCR region, Delhi. Any cargo which is emanating from that area is taken, connected on our Smile vessels, which is a weekly service, weekly to fortnightly service, which comes to Tuticorin, and from Tuticorin we directly transship it to Mali. We were giving the trade a much more easier and flexible mode of connectivity. Very, I would say that it is one of the unique and direct connectivity that you have between both these wonderful countries. The other thing which I would want to stress and impress upon all present here is that please broad base your supply chain, in the sense that today your supply chain consists of, your cargo composition consists of largely construction goods and the material, construction materials. These are the major commodities. Once you start spreading or diversifying your supply chain, other materials can be sourced from India. And I'm sure that we can be absolutely competitive on pricing, on delivery times, on transit times. Everything can be, ease of doing business is quite considerably very well advanced in Indian ports. The other gentleman, I was listening to him talking about payment gateways. You can imagine that we have one of the best, payment gateways, one of the most diversified payment gateways that you can have. So there is tremendous amount of, advantages dealing or doing business with India. Now India is ready for doing business, and it has been ready for doing business for quite some time. Now it is a time for the people from Maldives and the trading community from both nations to leverage on all these options. I mean, we can definitely think about adding many more strings to your service. No problem if there is substantial inducement for that. Today, the trade is not that developed in the sense that, it is not that diversified. Once the diversification, the the diversity which we are looking for in your supply chains, when they start kicking in, I'm sure that there will be a lot of substance and credibility for our supply chains. Thank you very much.
Kiran, can I take up the next question to the panel?
Yeah, His Excellency, I can.
I just wanted to make a couple of points on this whole issue of shipping links. First of all, I thank Shipping Corporation for joining us virtually and making the participants aware of this possibility. This service, when we had started, we were, doing it via Colombo. But the main objective was to promote direct shipping services between India and Maldives. And therefore, when we reoperationalized it after a brief disruption, it's now providing direct shipping services between India and Maldives. What I have noticed is the issue of lack of awareness and the possibilities that were briefly mentioned by the Shipping Corporation of India among the business community. So what we propose to do is to get a delegation from Shipping Corporation of India to Maldives in the coming days and weeks and organize further interaction, in-person interaction, where the importers here and the exporters from India will have an opportunity to engage with them and discuss the specifics. Because I do recognize that there may be some specific challenges which have not been fully addressed. This visit from Shipping Corporation of India is long due, but we hope to organize it soon. I was also present at another event a couple of days back where MSC gave a presentation on the services they are providing. Of course, they are not bringing any ships directly from India to Maldives, but they are routing it via Colombo. But again, they have ambitious plans to scale up their operations and enhance connectivity between India and Maldives. So there are entities which are seriously looking at addressing these issues and strengthening the shipping services between our two countries, which is a key enabler we all recognize. And that message has come out very clear. I would also like to encourage participants to follow up on the session that Colonel Nazim mentioned about forming a consortium and investing in the SEZ. I think this is a unique opportunity, and I'm sure we can, work together to make this happen. So I just want to, support that session, and we can have further discussion. Thank you.
Right. Yeah, interesting discussions and some nicely enlightening conversations between the audience as well as the Indian participants and our panelists. Just before conclude, is there anything else you want to share with the audience from the panels as well as from the virtual panelists who are joining from India side? Anything else? Oh, good, right? All right, I think that's for the conclusion.
We have a few more questions. Can I raise from Indian side? Vicky.
Secretary, please. Yeah, you can.
Okay. Thank you for this giving this opportunity. Now, The entire sessions were really informative, starting the sourcing supplies and technology, renewable energy, and the challenges in logistics and sessions also very informative, and that we'll be sharing to the Indian counterparts also. Now, a few questions that were shared in the chat box, if I can take one by one, subject to paucity of time. One is regarding the warehousing that has been already mentioned. Major e-commerce players are in India are really willing to partner with players in the Maldives side also for the supply side on the e-commerce platform. Because FICCI had taken various delegation to Maldives many times also. And at that time also this was discussed. So that's one area, e-commerce players. Second, on the warehousing, the government of India has come out a new warehousing policy, a lot of thrust is on warehousing. So many players are into warehousing sector. They will be also very keen to have tie-up and set up joint venture to Maldives counterparts on setting warehouses. This is an area which many people are looking at. So if the CFM or the my good friend Abdul Latif or the other companies can take work out all this, I mean, some kind of understanding, definitely we can connect the warehousing players with the Maldivian counterparts on establishing warehousing facilities. Third one regarding the, of course, the exchange communication, that exchange issue has been already discussed, so I don't want to elaborate on the same. And there are 2-3 questions which we have been posted. One is regarding the question on the, just a minute, I'm taking up the questions on the, one is regarding this, the solar energy and things. Many companies in India also would like to have tie-up with the on the solar energy scenario with the Maldivian counterparts. They are asking, is there any specific policies or something which can be elaborated so that they get more awareness about the solar policies of Maldives and to get connectivity. Second one, regarding the decarbonization policy, is there any decarbonization policy for Maldives at present? For that's for the electrical safety improvement, and so if there is something that could be made available so that people can go through the same and also understand on connecting with the Maldivian companies also. Of course, the energy sectors and energy improvement, there are a lot of people who have shown interest, and many of the companies in India are also are already doing a business with the Maldivian counterparts, or some of the new players are also would like to connect with the Maldivian counterparts also. So if the industry players or association can take a lead role also, then definitely we can connect them also from both sides, and the more collaborations can take place also. And the one area which you also mentioned about the consortium, that's a very good suggestion. There was, I think, couple of months ago, not couple of, some 1 year ago, we had a suggestion of the Maldivian companies would come to India and will have an interaction with Indian companies also. If there is something in the pipeline, definitely we will be able to provide more support and collaboration on the same also. Similarly, an Indian delegation also, Maldives on the various sectors, especially on the real estate sectors and building and sectors also. So these are the few suggestions which we got from our side. If the panelists can throw more lights on it, that would be really good. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Xavier. And we have very interesting questions. We'll be talking about e-commerce platforms, which might be very relevant to Imran also put in. And then he mentioned Latif in terms of joint venture consortiums or any form of other collaborations. And then talked about solar energy, asking if there are any specific policies where Indian counterparts or Indian businesses come into do partner with locals. And then talk about big corporation solutions. Yeah, shall we start with the e-commerce platform? And I think Vinod also mentioned about the payment gateway as well. So can you highlight on some of the ways which they can come and do business with us?
Thank you. In short, I think if this forum that we are having today could lead us to the Indian e-commerce platforms such as Agio, Amazon, Flipkart, and these platforms, it will be a very great help for Maldives trade line and the supply chain throughout delivery. So the forum could really assist us to reach and affiliate with these big e-commerce companies in India. So that is what I feel like we should do now.
I think we have His Excellency High Commissioner as well. So building the bridges, I think the one way which we can collaborate between the the e-commerce partners in the Maldives, right? I just want to ask Latif about the joint venture partnerships and collaborations which we can do as he asked.
I think during the COVID, during February 2022, there had been a policy review on the foreign investments in Maldives, and it will be published on the Gazette of Maldives. These areas are quite flexible and allows joint ventures on that. I was in the board of Economic Commission during the discussions of those, and we had that was in 2022, and I think what we can have a look on that. It is already a published data, and there is a percentage. There are certain types of things they can do 100% for it. Other types of things that there are partnerships on certain percentages. And I think these areas we are talking about are included in those ones, and then there's a possibility to do that. And I'm sure when there are JVs going for this kind of things, a lot of logistical issues are made much easier. And because the local will deal with the local community, and that will keep the whole business much healthier. And on platforms like that, if we can do that, the finance would be easier because we have SPI, and the transparency will be more, accountability will be high. So I don't see a problem coming up with those things.
All right, I see in the audience, Arif is also in the audience. I just want to ask him because he very specifically asked about the solar energy tie-up with local. So what could be your suggestions and ideas, which and he can take some of these things just from the quantum technology, managing director.
I have the actual question.
The question is, how can the Indian businesses can tie up with local businesses to invest in solar energy industry in the Maldives?
Actually, the Maldives is always open for new technologies because we are very much in need of new technologies because we are very much very small nation which needs to be addressed on environmental aspects as well. So we are always welcome to Indian companies to collaborate with the local companies to establish themselves in Maldives.
I think sorry, Xavier, previously when we discussed, I think even Nazim also mentioned, so it has to be a partnership with locals, right? And then invest in the Maldives is the easiest to that.
I always like partnerships, especially when it is cross-border trading. I think also for funding, foreign funding, and when India is with us, I think we don't have a problem with funding, right? Because my personal belief is that when we do the trading in US dollars, the logistical issues that I see in dealing with such countries are not the same, not so easy as it can be with India, right? For us. Yeah, that's one thing. Two, when you have partnerships, that's what I have said, when you want to go far,
Arrow.